Hello everyone. I hope you're going great. Um, the reason of this video is pretty much because I wanted to address something again concerning my everything concerning Joker, why I like it, but also like a lot of people thought that when I did my first video that I did that to justify myself, like when I was explaining why I like the movie so much, why it's an obsession, and because like I was justifying myself because a lot of people judge me because of that obsession. And no, I think that I didn't know how to explain it, and I just realized that one of the main reasons why I really like this movie, for me it's a bit of like a mental health movie, and for those who know me know how I struggle a lot with those issues. I've realized that if I talk more about that, maybe I'm gonna reach out to people who has the same obsession, the same issue. Well, not issue, but mostly it's because I wanna remove the a lot of people stigmatize mental illness, or a lot of people know what mental illnesses are. Everybody heard about schizophrenia, everybody heard about depression, about borderline personality disorder, but even those who are the less judgmental don't know much more about like the thing I have, because even myself, which is who is a like huge lover of psychology and everything, when I got my diagnosis, I didn't know what was that. So for me, it's a conversation that needs to happen. So maybe it's gonna help someone somewhere, maybe not, maybe, because me, I never heard of people who has that, never, with a movie character. Of course there is people like that, but probably not too much, or they hide themselves, maybe too much shame, because a lot of time when I was speaking about that, people judge me. So that's okay. Like I say, it's not to justify myself, it's to open a door of maybe people gonna judge less if they understand more, but just also for the fact of having knowledge of what it is, and maybe someone somewhere goes through the same thing I went through at the beginning. And believe me, if someone would have addressed this to me when I was feeling like that, I would have been happy, because at the beginning of my obsession, I was hurting so much, so much. At a point I was like, this is so painful, I feel like I'm gonna have like a heart attack or something. It was way too much to handle, and to a point that I was thinking like, this movie is reflecting something of myself that I need to address, because that's not normal. That's really not normal. And basically it's just because, of course, I've been identifying myself to a lot of movies, like, I feel like their character is like me, no, but never to that point, never. So it really became an obsession, like almost an addiction. So a lot of people in my surroundings, I have to admit that at the time it really did hurt because some people left me, you know, like the few people I have around me, they were like, it's okay, you know, get the fuck over it. And I understand, you know, I understand why people reacted like that. It's okay. It's just I was a bit affected. And one of my diagnoses from the psychiatrist in 2013 was obsessive compulsive disorder. Me, the image I had of an obsessive compulsive disorder is a person, she's checking like if the door is locked. Okay, it's locked. She has to come back like 30 times, you know, or she washes her hand 50 times or something like that. For me, it was not things like that. And I'm gonna show you why this movie, like in really specific ways, it goes way beyond, like, I feel like the character, I feel like cosplaying. It goes way beyond that.
A parasocial interaction becomes a parasocial relationship after repeated exposure to the media persona causes the media user to develop illusions of intimacy, friendship, and identification. Parasocial interaction is best explored across a lifespan, which explains the growing focus on parasocial interaction in children and adolescents. Everybody knows the first role models we have. The lack of actual contact with these idealized figures can offer positive social interactions without risk of rejection or consequent feelings of unworthiness. A study by Rosian and Dibble examined correlation between realism of favorite television character and strength social realism and strength of parasocial relationships. People who have more of a tendency to dive deep into things might have more of a tendency to be specialists and dive deep, while others take more of a wide view.
And Bowlby's theory predicts that individuals who didn't form a strong bond with a primary caregiver in early childhood will try to find an attachment substitute as adults, and engaging in parasocial relationships allows them to do so. And moreover, according to the description of attachment types described by Ainsworth, suggests that individuals who formed insecure, resistant relationships with their caregiver in early childhood will be more likely to form parasocial relationships, as they're too afraid of the criticism and rejection that are part of real-life relationships. And this was demonstrated by Ainsworth's findings in the Strange Situation study. Insecure, resistant children, they were very clingy to their mothers, they showed less explorative behaviour than children of other types, and they didn't feel safe enough to leave a parent, and they showed great distress when their mother left the room. Now, according to the Hazen and Shaver,
but they'll connect to that character because of the pain. I've met some clients that they identified with the Hulk, or they identified with the Joker, just because of what they feel inside, just because they could feel that innate pain within them.
And so how is my identifying, for example, how's my identifying with Joker going to, how do I then get past that? Mm-hmm. Is there a way past that?
Well, we use the character as a way to open up an understanding to why we may feel that way, to use examples as parallels. So we'll ask the client, okay, why do you identify with the Joker?
Right.
Well, because of X, Y, or Z thing. Okay, well, tell me why you identify with those specific behaviors. Well, because I lived through X, Y, or Z situation in my life. Mm-hmm. Okay, so then we start to dig into that particular feeling or emotion. So those characters are a way to bridge an understanding, create a therapeutic relationship with a lot of clients.
Okay, so it's if it's this idea that like if I don't know how to explain myself, maybe I can tell you know about the Joker and I know about the Joker, and so then if I tell you I feel like the Joker, then you can kind of go from there in extrapolating what could be going on in my head. Am I connecting things?
Yeah.
All right, I'm doing it, guys. I'm doing it. I'm connecting everything slowly but surely.
It's asking as to why do you feel like that? Why do you feel that you connect more to that character?
Mm-hmm.
And in a way, there are studies that show that when we look at a fictional character, it will help with our social identity. It also plays a buffer role for difficult events like social rejection. People that typically suffer from lower self-esteem will have generally stronger parasocial relationships that emulate what they want to as an ideal self. So they'll use it as a model. And we can see that these parasocial relationships create a reduction in cognitive deterioration when we feel rejected. It also has positive effects on self-esteem and mood. And we also perceive them as real relationships. Someone that has a connection with the Joker, they're not really focusing on, oh, the Joker is creating or doing these bad things and killing these people. They're focusing on the similarity that they feel at the core of the character. And a lot of people with the Joker is he's misunderstood.
Right.
If you look back at, well, you can't really trust the Joker with his backstory.
Sure, but we can go to Killing Joke and start there.
Yeah, with the Killing Joke, if you look at his past, you can see that failed comic person that was having a rough time in his relationship, doing everything that he could to provide for his family. He just got swept up in a bad situation and later became crazy. So we're not really focusing on Joker being a crazy,
right,
but more on that tortured aspect of the character.
You have to understand that me and a lot of people who are like artists see a lot of metaphors in aspects like at the first sight maybe you don't really understand, but if you go more profound you're gonna understand more. Me, when I say I want to become like the Joker, the first thing that people are gonna think is you want to become a killer, either that, you want to become worse than you actually are.
Yeah.
Why do you want to become like this? When I say that, I don't want to be like the guy in the movie. There's one particular scene, no matter what he did before, me, what I consider is what it's the point of the movie, what is the message, okay? Because I'm not for the crime at all, you know. There's like it's a way more profound message than that. Why he did that, and there's no excuse. It's just to understand the reasons behind that, the system, and things like that. There's one particular scene that he walks really confident in slow motion in the subway, and that scene, the vibe he has, is what I want to become. But I don't want to be like him. I already have that inside of me. I have to find it. And I like a lot of people, therapy is like a tool, you know, to find yourself and already have inside of you. That's the same thing for me. It could be a bad thing if there is someone who is not like me, who has worse intentions and who is like psychotic or things like that, and the person like is like because me, I have the same past that the guy in the movie, Arthur Fleck, Joker. I have the same, but I'm not the person who hurt other people at all. I'm the kind of person who get hurt a lot. But it just shows you, like, if you keep pushing someone to the edge, one day that person might snap. It's just a message of warning. If you keep violenting the poor and not caring about them, a lot of times you take everything from them, and violence sadly remains the only option.
Drama therapy is the intentional use of drama and theater processes to help clients make emotional, psychological, and behavioral changes. So what does that mean? Some of us may have found ourselves looking in front of a mirror, practicing before some sort of big event, a job interview, or even just an important conversation with someone. We sort of intrinsically know that if we practice something first, we may be more successful in doing that same thing outside of our own private space. So you might be wondering, does this mean that I have to act or perform if I'm going to be using drama therapy? Not necessarily. So drama therapy exists on a continuum. On one side, we have clinical work, where drama therapists might be working in a hospital or in a treatment center. And on the other side, we have community-based work. It might be social advocacy work, or working in schools or different community programs. Sometimes drama therapy does include different types of performances, but here's where it differs. The focus in drama therapy lies in the therapeutic benefits to be gained by the creative process, which all culminates in a final performance. So it's about the entire journey and the destination, showing what has been learned over that time. But the focus is not just on the final performance, but really what is being gained through that entire process. So you might wonder, what would using drama therapy look like in a session? It can look like so many things. It's active, it's experiential. We're using these core elements of drama and theater to create this change. If you're familiar with talk therapy, you know that the clinician might ask you a question and you might respond. And if I were to incorporate drama therapy into that exchange, it might look a little bit like perhaps you telling me something that happened with your mother, and rather than me listening to you tell the story in past tense, we bring it into the room in the present,
asking him about
and
those
we
horrible
role-play,
subway
right?
murders.
I'm going to be your mother, or we can put your mother over here in sort of an empty chair, and you can dialogue with her that way.
Bruce Wayne's on
This helps
TV.
give
Yes,
clients
Mother.
some closure and a sense of
You're
what
asking
it
him
would
about
be
those
like
horrible
to say
subway
something
murders.
different or to practice a behavioral change in the moment. So
Looks like he's
you
gained
also
weight.
might be wondering, what is this embodied piece? Why do we need to incorporate the body? Using embodiment with drama therapist results in a deep encounter with this personal material that the client is bringing in.
You know, if you saw the movie, you can see what happened to that character, all the abuse and things. And mostly, I've been a clown myself. It's really, it's really even worse than when he goes through. I've been through a lot. And I have no access to therapy. I'm very poor, I'm ill, and things like that. And at a certain point, you have to find a way to cope, you know? You really have. And you have to find a way to go through a treatment plan or work on these issues. But for me, even to think just by example, to work through the book, if I wanted to work on the bullying I went through or the abuse from my mother, it was too painful, you know, way too painful, and I couldn't. I just blocked myself because it's like a really, really strong pain. And I've realized that when I was working the scenes from the movie, when you go through so much like strong emotions because of what happened, like what happened to me. Like a lot of people told me, like, my God, you know, you're so much in the emotions, and because basically I was really living the emotion. And I can tell you now, I relieved a lot, and I've worked on a lot just by acting these scenes. So that I'm really proud, because yes, I'm obsessed, but I evolve a lot from that. And basically it's just like a filter, more secure filter when you put on the costume. So you go through the character, you know, not just from yourself. When I say that it gives me self-confidence, just one aspect of it is when I do the makeup. You know, I've always been the kind of person who says, like, oh, you're not good, you know, like I don't feel like I'm good enough, so I just stop what I'm doing. And when I started, because for me the makeup is like a painting, and I love painting. There's a part of me who likes medicine, but also like the artistic aspect of the artistic makeup. And you know, you have to learn really the face lines, the it's complicated thing. And at one point I was searching on YouTube for a tutorial for Joker makeup, and I've found one particular person who was doing the makeup, and I was so jealous because I couldn't do the makeup like her. And you know, basically, who cares, you know, about that, if I'm good or not? It's just a Joker makeup. But me, I'm perfectionist, and I'm hard on myself. And after a while I was trying, you know, I was trying other things. I forgot about that, and after that, like many tries, I realized that, wow, I accomplished a kind of makeup, and I never expected to be able to. And yeah, okay, Marjo, you can compare yourself, but I've looked at I was looking at a picture of me at the beginning when I was trying the makeup for Joker. Basically, I just looked at that picture, you know. First, I thought to myself, see, you compare yourself, but see how you were before and now. Like you grew, and you have talent. So anyway, just to say that on that part, I was like, okay, you know what? No, I'm not gonna compare myself anymore. And so in many little details like that, it helps me become confident, and it reflects on every other aspect of my life. So for now, maybe like if I was a different person, or you know, with the same kind of past, maybe I could have became like, you know, someone who went through so much. Oh, I have this past, people are gonna pay, you know, like in the movie, and they kill other people. But like a psychologist said, a psychiatrist, I said, that's very rare that things like that happen, but it could have. So people were worried about me, and I understand that. But and I thank you for just having that thought. But I think it's very important and useful that we have these conversations about mental illnesses. And basically, thank you very much for watching and listening to this video.
If it was me dying on the sidewalk, you'd walk right over me.
I could talk for hours about what I like about this movie and in what ways it helps me, but there is also what I forgot, my obsessions for the colors, for the direction of photography, the cinematography, the moves, the dancing, the emotions, the what it woken up in myself to fight for the injustice of the system. And I just start thinking, I have the right to be angry about what I go through and what I went through, and it helps me evolving through emotions that I never let myself go through. In so many ways, there's a therapy.